I am the guy who grew up in the mainstream business world, and I joined YPO a dozen years ago, and I just kept thinking that my role in life is to run companies and make money. And then one day I came to this amazing realization that you can combine good with profit, that you can actually change the world by building businesses that ultimately produce something cool and positive for the world. I started a business 10 years ago. That was my first social venture. Sold it in record time because, of course, everybody started seeing the value behind those things. And then started a second one 4 years ago. And the second one has actually become a bit of a story around the world because it's the first wellness rewards app in the world. We call it Carrot, this carrot. And of course, it's obvious why we call it Carrot, right? You're dangling a little carrot in front of millions of people and you're saying, get a few more points if you learn about the flu shot, or if you learn why you should quit smoking, or if you just exercise a little more every day. You know, the incentives industry, the points industry, which is so prevalent and so successful in all Western countries, gets me and you and everybody else around us to change, to switch airlines, to switch credit cards, to switch stores. It's incentives change our behavior every day. So why not use incentives to actually change our behavior for the better? We've taken 1 million Canadians, if you can believe this, and we've gotten them to walk so much more every day that we're now being celebrated in academic publications all over the world because nobody was ever before able to make such a quick difference on public behavior on a mass scale. So just imagine the health impact this is having on their lives every single day. And those same people are now learning a lot more about how to cook, how they should get vaccinated, why they shouldn't smoke, how to manage their money, how to manage the environment. Every positive behavior you can imagine, we're now influencing through this app, instead of the old-fashioned way, which was running ads and saying, Andreas, don't smoke, or Andreas, exercise a little more. We've replaced all those old-fashioned approaches with something that truly, truly works and engages the population on a mass scale. Carrot was created in a little house in Toronto, in our home, as an idea. Carrot has become a big success story in our country. It's actually the most popular wellness app in Canada now. But the future is awesome. The future is amazing because not only do we get to take this idea to the rest of the world, but even more importantly, when you think about it, Carrot shouldn't just be about health. Carrot should be a platform that engages millions and millions of citizens in any kind of positive behavior shift that we want to trigger. It took me a while to figure out how I went through this transition. How did I go from being another conventional business leader, one of millions, to being in this sort of very different category of social venturers, social entrepreneurs? And I was trying to figure out, what was it? Where was the sort of transition moment for me mentally? And then I realized that the transition moment for me was the day that I was actually able to get comfortable with who I am and to figure out what are the strange and different things about me. Just like everybody else, I am strange. Just like everybody else, I am different. And so when I figured this out, and after I sold my last business, I actually decided that I had an obligation towards younger leaders out there to tell the story, to share the story with them in a very open and a very vulnerable way. And with the support of my spouse, I actually sat down and wrote a memoir, which became a bestseller in Canada already. The memoir is called Misfit, because I am a misfit. And frankly, all of us are misfits. The subtitle under the giant misfit title in my book says, autistic, period, gay, period, immigrant, period, change maker, period. And I really do believe that there is a bit of a sequence there, that those things were actually not handicaps, they were actually assets, which I figured a way to somehow harness to make a difference. We are raised in a world where people try to convince us to conform and fit in and march along like everybody else. And the idea behind the memoir was to actually kind of put it in your face and to say, guess what? I didn't succeed despite of my misfitness. I succeeded as a social entrepreneur because of my misfitness. So really, what's my key message to the future business leaders around us? Figure it out. Figure out what makes you different, and don't be afraid of it. Discover it, harness it, and it will make you feel so much happier, but it will also fuel your success.